Hello, I'm Valerie McLennan. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you may be. I hope you're well. This is my spiritual channel, Valerie Mac, Scottish spiritual, and very funny, allegedly. I hope you've had a good day, and as I keep saying, if you've been following me a while, thank you very much, and I hope you continue to follow me throughout 2026 and beyond. If you're a new listener, thank you, and may I ask you to revert back and listen to my previous podcasts. Thanking you very much indeed. Now, today I'm based in central Scotland. Are you Scottish? I am. And it's been really quite a strange day. Weather-wise, 1 second, I know you're thinking I'm exaggerating, I'm not. 1 second, sunny. Next second, hailstones and rain that couldn't come down any quicker if it tried. It did. Now, I was just thinking, do you remember in the good old days, you would look at the sky and you would think, oh, the rain is not far away. It shall be here momentarily. And you had this little warning and you go, oh, look at the clouds. Do you know, in the good old days, oh, look at that. You'd have a kind of brief warning. So you think, oh, must dash, want to get back before the rain comes. Well, not now. Not now. You're just kind of walking and it's sunny. And the next minute, whoosh, and you're absolutely drenched. Now, I'll correct that. Thankfully today, I missed each and every shower. And there were many. So I didn't actually get caught in it. Oh, thank goodness. But I was thinking there must be people, and you're just, it's not as if I'm a stranger to it, put it that way. I missed it today, but this is what I mean. I used to be able to look and think, well, look at the clouds. I've got enough time to get home, and you could kind of second guess. Not now, as I said. You're just kind of there, oh, what's happened to the kind of warning? You just go, oh, I'm just soaked to the skin. So there must have been many people, I am imagining today, who were just walking and then all of a sudden, as if they'd been in a river. That's the way it was coming down. Oh, well, if that was you, I'm awful sorry. I know I'm awful sorry. It's happened to me in the past. I was lucky today to have avoided that situation. But it would be, do you know that way? I'm just getting a little mental picture. Do you know that way as if you were walking along the road and there was like a little river and the car goes through it and soaks? That's the kind of rain that was coming down. Do you know you'd be just walking around, whoosh, that type of thing. I was trying to draw you a mental picture. Well, if you were caught in it, I'm awful sorry. I know, wasn't my fault. Anyway, where was I? I've not got a joke as such. I'm looking at life at the moment and I'm thinking life, to me, is like a little joke. Not even little. It's quite scary. Now, I'll tie it in obviously with the spiritual wisdom, etc., etc. But what I was going to again is just, the reason I don't have a little joke is because I'm going to tie it in with little things that's happening in my own life that makes life seem a little bit tongue-in-cheek. Now, I'm always saying, well, I'm not always saying, I say now and again, in life, progress, what you call progress, I don't. Do you know, on many occasions, the technology route is beneficial on some levels. I agree. But the majority, I would say, is taking us down a road and a path that we don't want to go, in my opinion. Look even at the AI. I mentioned this over the months and you were no doubt thinking, oh, how ridiculous. You're thinking it was a joke, possibly. Don't know. Have you been seeing it even on the TV now? They're talking about the dangerous aspect of this AI because they can make videos of anybody, generally probably in the public eye, and they can take videos and make it look really realistic and make those people say whatever they're wanting to say, which is very, very dangerous. And they put it out there so people just look at it and think it's real. Because a lot of it, unless you look really closely and you can see, usually the mouth is out of sync or something. But people that aren't looking that closely, can you imagine how dangerous that is when people are they're putting that out? Seemingly there's people, they're kind of doing it where people are investing money in different things because they're making it look as if they're endorsing whatever it is. So it's an absolute minefield, that AI, And that's what I was saying maybe a year or two ago or whenever I was saying it. Obviously, anything in life, there's a little bonus somewhere or it'll be a little beneficial in some areas of your life. Personally, I believe that 90% of it is a negative and that people will regret going that route. But sadly, such is life. Many people have to go that route and maybe it's only in hindsight. But they seem to kind of want to go that route initially, which I find strange in the first place. Just because everything in life is telling you this will save you time, we will do this. Technology, how kind. Technology will take away you don't need to do that, human being. Don't be ridiculous. I'll do that. human being having to think? Don't be silly. Just you ask me anything you want to know, says the robot. Now, if I'd said this not that long ago, you would have thought I was being hilarious. How many machines do you have in your home that you're asking the question to everything? In your life, you don't have to remember. Your memory is just there for decoration. You don't have to store anything. You don't have to remember anything to recall. If you forget, you just ask technology again. I've said this until I'm blue in the face. Your memory, I personally believe, will be affected. Well, why would it not be affected? Because you don't have to remember anything. Because if you're asking technology for everything, the same as the AI. It's taken over everything. I mentioned it a couple of days ago. Someone had said to me about the recruitment sector. A lot of them now are going the AI route, so AI can go through all the CVs. So you're losing the emotional kind of connection there. If that's the way some people, not everyone, if that's the way some people are going, if that's the way some businesses are going, just to kind of take it off their shoulders, they'll give it to AI. Not every business, but some might decide just to kind of go that way. Oh, it saves us time. And I have said, if you listen to the podcast, even in the last year, I'd say the last couple of years, I keep repeating the same sentence. Every choice and decision we make in life, there is an emotional cost. I don't believe for a minute that we're being judged. I don't believe a minute anything along those lines, but I do believe we reap what we sow. So with every single choice that we make for our own lives, there will be an emotional cost attached. Just to give you a very brief, like imagine a parent and they have had a child and they're thinking, will I go back to work? Will I not? Will I work from? Will I stay? Will I just stay at home? Now that's a choice. Now, as many parents would know, whenever they make the choice, they are very, very well aware there's an emotional cost. Many people will think, oh, did I do the right thing? Now, this is the same with every choice that we're making in our life. Whatever choice we are making, there's always a kind of an emotional cost. Did I do the right thing? Was that the right route? Was that the right? That's what I mean by emotional cost. So whatever decisions we're making about anything in our life, there'll always be this emotional cost. Now, it's the same as I'm saying with the technology route. It's taking away all of that emotional, the emotional kind of connection. If AI is going to be going through CVs, if AI is doing all the work on our behalf, you'll lose the emotional connection there because technology is taking over that. Human beings, and I keep saying it, but many people just think it's funny. I bet you a few months from now you'll not be laughing, as I keep telling you that same old joke, and I shall repeat it again. The man that wanted to be a comedian, and nobody would laugh. And then one day he made it. You've told us this before, I'm telling you again. And one day he made it, and he said, well, there you are then, you're not laughing now, are you? Now, along those lines, I think many people won't be laughing in the future because they'll be thinking my memory has gone with that technology, because the machine will be saying, don't you worry yourself, you don't need to remember anything. I'll remember. Now, my point being, I know I've told you this before, if you look at the news and different things now, they're coming out, if you don't believe me, they're now saying, there's a dangerous part now with this AI. They're coming up with all this fake stuff. There's scams and everything, and people don't know the truth from fiction. Now, that's people who were advocating it, that's people who were shouting about it, and that's people who were telling you to follow it. I've not told you to follow it from the beginning. See what I mean? I'm on the spiritual path. I'm ahead of the game. I'm ahead of all of them. Just you listen to me. I don't listen to any of that stuff. I know when people just go, da-da-da, and then time, wait a minute, maybe, hold on. Maybe in hindsight, that wasn't such a good reason. Well, I don't want to pat myself on the back, but I was saying from the very beginning, it was a negative path to follow. And now even the people, as I said, that were shouting about it, saying how wonderful it was, are backtracking unless I'm losing the point. Anyway, I'm going to tell you another funny little thing. My time's at 9 minutes past. I was going to go back just on a funny little thing about the landlines. Do you remember landline? What on earth's a landline? Do you remember? We had the landline in the house, the big plastic phone with a big receiver. Yes, I know. I've still got a landline. I'm just drawing you a picture. People I was speaking to, people just over the way were having a little laugh, and we're talking about technology. We're talking about alleged progress. Alleged progress indeed. Anyway, and we were saying, I'm talking about people, the stories that were being relayed to me. I'm not talking about very young people. I'm talking about people in their 20s or something. And they were saying how some of the grandparents or parents, depending on what age bracket they are, still have the big clumpy landline in their house. So what they're doing now is watching the younger people. Now, by younger, they're meaning like late teens, early 20s, trying to fathom where on earth is this. I know. Because if you think they've been brought up with the kind of smartphone where the ID, caller ID and everything comes up. So if somebody phones, they just glance and they know who it is. And then to hang up, they just press it, gone, that's it. I'll be easy, easy. Well, the grandparents are going, this is people I was telling me the story. The grandparents have been watching them coming in, say in their 20s. And the phone, bring, the big loud ring. So they said to them, could you answer the phone? And they're saying, huh? So this is people in their 20s standing staring at this plastic kind of contraption and it's ringing. Oh, they're thinking, what on earth do I do? So the grandparents, whoever it is, are saying, could you just pick it up and say hello? And they're trying not to laugh. So they're standing looking at it and it's been ringing forever because they're thinking, what do you do? So they're lifting the entire piece or the entire phone instead of the receiver. And then they go, well, just to pick up that bit, the receiver. And then it gets worse. So then when they go to pick up the receiver, before they lift it up, they say, what do I say? What do I say? And they say, just say hello. Hello. What do I say after that? This is genuine. What do I say after hello? Now, keep in mind, when they're on their own phone and it rings and they answer it, they say hello. And then they know what to say after hello, don't they? But suddenly their mind has left the building when they're looking at this other contraption and they're thinking, what do I say? Hello? Well, the same as you do in your own phone. Oh, hello. And then, what do you say after that? Well, the same as you do in your own. Oh, yeah, oh, hold on. So because it's not got caller ID, they have no idea who it is, you know. So they pick up the receiver and then they've already been told, say hello. And they go, hello. Hello. And then the person will say whatever it is. But then they don't know how to hang it up after they're finished. And then they go, you did it. Right, bye. Right, cheerio, bye. And then they're looking over their shoulder saying, how to hang up? Because they usually just press the button. How to hang up? And they go, well, put it down the way you picked it up. Put it down the way I picked it. And they slam it back into and they're going, are they away? And they're picking it back up. Are they there? Have they gone? Don't know. Anyway. And they're saying, what is the difference between that and your own phone? How do you suddenly not know, because in your own phone it rings and you answer it, you say hello. How did you not know just because of that? Just say hello. I don't know, I just didn't know what you say. This is a funny looking thing. I put some bring. Then they didn't know how to hang up. Then they don't know how to pass on the message. Now, I know where I'm going. I was sold a package. I know. I had to phone the company, which was painful enough. And so long as I was on you need a fortnight's holiday. Anyway, I know. I was renewing a contract. His contract. That was him again, wasn't it? That was that Cooper guy. I know. I don't know why I keep doing that. Anyway. I was renewing my contract, and one of their big selling points was I was getting the fastest broadband in history. I would be the envy of many. They didn't say that, but this is what I had in my mind. I would be the envy of many. I was getting the fastest, but now keep in mind what I just said a minute ago. I don't care about being the fastest anything. I just want it to work. You know, I just want to know my Wi-Fi will work if I'm doing call, video or anything, that it won't just disappear and all that type of thing. Oh, anyway, I renewed the contract. I've got the fastest, seemingly, wherever, the envy of everyone. What did I find out yesterday? I thought, what's happening? Around the area. I'll be vague if you don't know where I am. In the area, I thought, what's that? A few people said, that broadband, the fast one, is not working. They're putting down the telegraph posts, or poles, whatever you call them. The telegraph poles. A few people have told me this now. I was looking at them and think, what? We're back in my area with the telegraph poles because the broadband fast speed thing is not working. It is no use and their ornament. Well, I'll be back onto that company because they're charging me for the fastest thing in the world. I know. Now, progress again. Look. Now, what was that expression I came up with a couple of years ago? If you've been following my bio, you remember. I said to you, now this makes sense if you just think about it for a moment. We are going full steam ahead in reverse. Now, I know that doesn't make sense, but it does in a funny kind of a way. Here we are now, we're going back, we are reverting back to telegraph poles. The word is telegraph poles. Instead of the fastest broadband in the town. Now, same as the AI. We didn't get very far, and now people go, oh, wait a minute. Oh, hold on, there's got quite a few drawbacks, this. Well, try by me. Got telegraph posts going back up. I know. You couldn't make it up. This is why I didn't have a joke. I thought, life is but a joke. I know. Funny you look. There's all of this stuff that you call progress that I certainly don't. And I'm only hoping that I'll keep hitting hiccups and, and its own little potholes on the way. Because human beings, you won't be of any use. You will be surplus to requirements and you're handing it all over to them on a plate. You are going, here, take my power. There you are. We laugh in the face of work. Who needs work? AI. Just you don't even bother answering me. Just you take that, look at that CV, do what you like. Just don't even respond. That's fine. I know. We have no emotions. We have nothing. We are just a mere shell of a human being. Well, I won't be a mere shell of a human being. No, I will not. I'm doing it my way. I know. I'm not going that route. And many people are starting to find out that what they thought was a great addition to their life, it is the opposite. It is the opposite. So please stop. And please, it's the other little funny thing I heard. Well, you probably heard it yourself. They've been talking about it for a while. Are children that's going to school and they don't even know what a paper book, and they're trying to swipe the pages as if it was a screen. You've heard that yourself, and I've heard that for a while. They're looking at a book and go, what's this with the pages? Because they're trying again to maybe revert, because a lot of people realise this route that we're on is not really the best, not only for your eyesight, but for everything else, mind, body, spirit. Put a book in front of your children. And some, not everyone, some of them are going like that and they're trying to swipe it like a screen, because that's all they've ever used as a screen. Thinking, what's this? And when they can't read, if the letters aren't big enough, they're trying to magnify it on the page with their hand. They're putting their hand on the paper, but this is what I heard. Putting their hand on the words in the paper book. I can't see that. And they're trying to do what you do on the screen to magnify the words. What's happening? What's happening? I know. Well, did you think it was progress? I certainly. How many times have I said, read a book? Read a book. Not only for your eyesight, but just get back. It's not progress. Are you starting to see what I mean? I've been saying this for ages. The technology route, even that woman in your house, the woman that you call progress, that you ask everything, your memory will be non-existent. Just think about it yourself. If you don't have to recall anything, why? You don't have to, because that machine will say, I've said this before, at the end of your time, that machine will remember everything. And you'll be saying, I can't remember anything. I've not had to store anything in my mind. And the machine will give you a nudge and say, don't worry about it. I know everything. Yeah. And you would just say, well, that's wonderful. I know nothing. Can't remember anything. Now, what happens if, like they're saying now with the telegraph poles, what happens if all the Wi-Fi, don't do that, the guy gives me a panic. What happens if the Wi-Fi, everything goes AWOL? And you're counting on your memory, and you're counting on all of the skills that we need in life to get us through. Something happens to all of the Wi-Fi, wipes out the whole thing. It's not impossible. It's not impossible. No, it's very likely. What happens if that all goes? And you're then having to be self-sufficient? Well, I'll tell you something. You should start trying it now. Because when that day comes, you won't be able to, you'll be no use nor ornament. That's not why we're on earth. We're supposed to be on earth for personal development, personal growth. Which part of personal anything is in you handing over everything, all of your gifts and all of your skills to technology? Which part of you has any personal growth? Which part of you has any personal development? Nothing. Nothing. How are you possibly growing? How are you possibly developing if you're giving technology everything you need? Just because it's quick, can't be bothered, well, that's wonderful. See, when this all goes AWOL and you've nothing, there's no technology, no nothing, there's something there. See, if there's no technology, no nothing, you will have to be self-sufficient. And if you're depending on all of the above to see you through, I wouldn't like to be in that position. But I just wanted to laugh. I remember the book, and I know, and the landline. How comical. And look at me back with a telegraph post. After all these years, they were I know, I'm going to phone my provider. I don't know if I will or not. I was on there forever. That was a big selling point. Fastest broadband in the place. It's not working. Telegraph post. Be sending a telegram tomorrow. I know, I'll be going back in. And how remember a telegram? No. Well, it's not that long ago. I was telling you a couple of weeks ago about people laughing at people hanging out their washing. Remember that wee funny peg on that washing? Well, people are still doing it. I know. And people are using tumble dryers, cost them a fortune. That's not progress. We're supposed to be living in the moment, remembering who you are, you're supposed to be developing. I know, I just don't understand it, because I sometimes look at life and think, do human beings realise how their power is just being diminished. Every time you hand your power over to anything out with yourself. This is what I keep trying to stress. You're supposed to keep the majority of the tasks, keep your gifts within yourself. Who cares if you manage to save 30 seconds in a day? Who cares if it's got to be the most up-to-date something? Who cares if it's this or that? There is an emotional cost. Every time you buy into all of that stuff, and that's all it is stuff, you are handing everything over, and it's like there's an emotion. The emotional cost is mind, body, spirit. So wherever you're thinking you're gaining by all the latest things, you're not going to be growing, in my opinion only. You're not going to be growing or doing any of the reasons that you're on earth you're supposed to do. Look at very, very briefly, look, if you don't think this is true, how many people do you hear now talking about people that don't want to speak? I know I say it tongue-in-cheek, but they can't be bothered speaking on a phone. They can't be bothered even texting. They can't be bothered having a conversation. If it's just got to be like a 2-minute conversation and go on. Number one, they can't concentrate. Number two, they just can't be bothered. Now, all of the above, and if you tie it all together, it's not remotely healthy. The skills and the gifts that you have on earth and the tools that you're going to need the most are communication, the ability to speak, the ability to have decent conversations, the ability to use a phone, communication and the ability to just speak on that kind of level will get you through many situations in life. If you're just kind of grunting along and you can't be bothered speaking and you can't be bothered with this and you can't be bothered with that, you're going to find that life is going to hold you back, the whole flow, because the energy's not moving in life. We're supposed to speak. We're supposed to communicate to the best of our ability. We're supposed to, when we're on earth, that's why you've been given a mouth. That's why you've been given the ability to speak words and the ability to think in your mind. If you're shutting it all down and you're it's getting less. Now, you know that yourself. Many, many people in life can't be bothered speaking, making an effort, and they're getting very, very insular. So they're getting, that's not healthy on many, many levels. It's not healthy for you. It's not helping anyone around you. And as I said, in life, the art of communication could get you through many situations in life that it's going to be needed. You're not going to be able to get out the other end of life without having to have the ability to have a decent conversation with someone sometime, somewhere in your life. What was that advert? Sometime, somewhere. Suddenly, now there's no connection in this. Do you remember that big handsome guy in the milk tray advert? Why did that come into my mind? I have no idea either. Remember, did he do that thing? Was that the milk tray advert? Somewhere, sometime? Oh no, that was another advert. It doesn't matter. He was always a big dish, wasn't he? He was always a big handsome dish. I didn't care about the milk tray, to be quite honest. All of these years later, he was always a big handsome stranger, wasn't he? Flying through the air. He was always dishy. I know. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go on to Google and look up handsome man in the milk tray advert. You will thank me later. I have no idea where that came in my head. Thank you for sharing that. It's wonderful. I know, it's all right. Just I'll leave you with that. Lovely thought. I know. They don't do that now. You don't have these big handsome guys with the chocolate adverts, do you? I don't know. I might just go and look. Thank you for listening. Look after each other. I'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.